Hey farmall fans, C&B Tractor Collectors here. I am going to show a lot of guys don't know how to properly adjust a clutch on a farmall H or M. In this case, I'm going to demonstrate on a Super M, and I also have an H. So first we'll go through the basics of clutch adjustment. So I'll show you what a good clutch is in adjustment, and a clutch that is way out of adjustment and needs to be adjusted. So here is an H. This is a 44H. As you can see, the clutch pedal touches the back of the transmission here, and this is how much play the clutch has before throwout. That is a properly adjusted clutch on a farmall H or M. And then on my new Super M, when I got it, I noticed that it was way out of adjustment. Actually, so far out of adjustment that the clutch pedal did not even touch the transmission top, the housing there. It should be butted up right against it like the H was. And if you can see here, there's way too much lateral play in this clutch. And then look how much throwout there is on this clutch. That's it. So what to do in this case is look on, this is an adjustment rod, and there's an adjustment yoke down here. I have already heated it up and gotten it loose so that you guys can see how it's adjusted fairly fast. This there is a nut, a jam nut here that needs to be adjusted to keep that yoke from I don't know, I guess the rod moving inside of the yoke a little bit, and that is just basic preventative wear out of the rod. I don't know why they did it, but it's a good idea to keep the rod intact and don't wear the threads out and all that. So what you're gonna do is take this. You can do it on either end. That pin is stuck right now, so I will show you on this pin. Take the pin out, slide the pin out if you can. You just slide it out, clutch linkage will drop. From this point, the clutch did not even touch the back of the transmission pan here, but I did notice that. Look how much rod there is here. So this clutch could be adjusted and probably will not need to be replaced because it still has plenty of throwout, in my opinion, even though it was so far out of adjustment. So then take vice grips or something like that and start twisting this clutch whatever way you need to. I'm gonna obviously need more throwout, so I'm gonna start twisting it and loosening it up, and look, the threads are going down, so that means that I am adjusting outward the clutch. Now this may take a few times and some fine adjustments to do, but get it down to where you think it would be close. Get it lined up so that when you swing it back up, you can get to the to this clutch rod. This is your main rod and your throwout bearings in there. That's why it's not lining up, is because it's not pushed back. So the next thing you're going to want to do is hold your clutch pedal back, and you can actually do it with the rod here. You can just push it back, and that is I would say a little bit on the far side because it is touching the transmission pan, or the transmission top. So I'm going to screw it in a half a turn, and we'll try it now. Now I'm going to call that still a lot of play, or too much, so I'm going to go another half of a turn. Now we'll try it like that. I'm going to say that that's real close because there will be a little play in the shaft from being old. So let me set you down for just a second. Okay, slide this back. Put this, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. I hope this isn't upside down. Let's see. Oh, it is upside down. Okay. There, and you're going to see that I am putting the pin in this tractor. So once you get it close to lined up, it will be worn, so just tap the pin in. Mine is not cooperating properly. There it goes. And as you can see, that clutch is finally touching the pan. And see, look how much throw out it has now. So you know it had play all the way back here. Now look at the throw out. That is what I would call a very close to properly adjusted clutch. And see how much throw out there is now. This will be a little hard for me to demonstrate, but see, look how much more throw out there is. That's a nice, safe, reliable clutch. And then if you adjusted this rod out, I still have plenty of adjustment. My rod's mostly completely in here still, but you can bring it out to about the 2 and it'll still work. After that, if you get to way out here and only have that much throw out left, your clutch disc is worn, your throw out bearing is probably needing to be replaced. Even if it doesn't make noise, it is definitely time to do some maintenance. So I would recommend taking on an M, you're gonna have to split the tractor, split it right at the engine right there. On an H, you get lucky if you have an H, because this does have a replaced clutch in it. You take these fittings out, take this top off, there's 2 on the other side, disconnect this whole rod. Then on the bottom, there is two bolts to this big cover plate and 2 more bolts to this little cover plate with a grease zerk for the throw out bearing right here. There's 4 bolts to this big hydraulic pump and a drive shaft. Drop the hydraulic pump out of it, hydraulic pump assembly. Then you can get to your clutch your clutch pack right on your farmall H tractor. On an M, it's not so easy. You have to disconnect all the wiring, carburetor linkages, pull the hood off, and then split the tractor from the engine mount to the bell housing of the clutch and transmission. Slide the tractor back, slide the tractor forward. Then you can get to your throw out bearing and your clutch disc and your pressure plate. And then I would recommend, if you're going to go that far to replace your clutch, you might as well do your pilot bushing for your main drive shaft, transmission drive shaft up front, your pilot bushing, clutch, pressure plate, and throw out bearing. That will cover you'll have all new clutch assembly inside. You will have to, depending on how far you want to go and be tedious, you will notice that through the many years your tractor has been worn, there is going to be some play in these linkages. You can see right there, that pin could probably be replaced. This here, watch. See it sliding forward? This back here, this clutch itself, the bottom pivot point is all worn out. You can see how much play is in that clutch. You go over to my H. This one was worked a lot more than my H. My H, you can go over. This does have